Meeting to order. If you would stand with me, first we're going to have Brandon Hillenberg lead us in prayer, and then James Reed will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
You may be seated. Once again, thanks for coming tonight. We're going to start off with our roll call. Tammy, please.
Long.
here.
Jones.
Here.
Red.
Here.
Hillenberg.
Here.
Cope.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Waymack.
All that's present. Next item is to read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
A motion that we read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
Second.
I got a motion from Michael, a second from Stephen, to read ordinances and resolutions by title only. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy.
Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Passes 8-0. First up is our old business. We have 4 items here on the agenda. First one's ordinance number 25 of 2021.
Ordinance number 25 of 2021, an ordinance to amend Article 4, annotated 4.8 of the Unified Development Code to declare an emergency and for other purposes. Second reading.
Mayor, may I speak?
Yes, sir.
These ordinances have been through the process with the Planning Commission. They've had their public hearings. This is the second reading that we've had here. I'm going to ask the council if they would so indulge me to suspend the third reading on all 4 of these, and I'm also going to ask for an emergency clause on all 4 of them. I think it's okay to go ahead and get these out. I've not received 1 phone call, 1 email, 1 text message on them, not a thing.
I would second.
So I'm going to ask that we suspend the third reading of ordinance number 25.
And James, would you second that? Yes, sir. I've got a motion and a second to waive the third reading of ordinance number 25 of 2021. Any discussion, council? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy.
Waymack. Yes. Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Mayor, in order for the Planning Commission and the Municipal Services Division to be able to do their work efficiently, I ask that we adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 25 of 2021.
We need the ordinance.
Make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Okay, can we adopt the ordinance maybe?
Can you second?
I do make a motion to
I'll
adopt
second.
the ordinance.
Okay. I got a motion from Matt, a second from James to adopt ordinance number 25 of 2021. Council, any discussion? Seeing none. Audience, any discussion? Anyone from Facebook? Okay. Seeing no discussion, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy?
Waymack. Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
I renew my motion for an emergency clause on ordinance 25 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from Stephen, to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 25 of 2021. Any discussion, council? Seeing none, anyone from the audience? Travis, turn up the heat.
Please.
Cold. Maggie's already turned up the heat. Thank you, Maggie. Seeing no discussions, all in favor to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 25 of 2021, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Waymack. Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item is ordinance number 26 of 2021.
Number 26 of 2021, an ordinance to amend Article 5, annotated 5.3 of the Unified Development Code to declare an emergency and for other purposes. Second reading.
Mayor, I would make a motion to adopt ordinance 26 of 2021.
We're going to waive the third first.
Gotta wait.
No, we have to do it one at a time.
I'll make a motion that we waive the third reading.
Okay. Thank you,
Second.
sir. Got a motion from James, a second from Brandon to waive the third reading of ordinance number 26 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Now can I make the motion to adopt ordinance
Yes,
26?
yes, sir, you may.
Second.
Got a motion from James, a second from Matt to adopt ordinance number 26 of 2021. Any council discussion? Any audience discussion? Anything from computer land? Okay. All right, seeing no more discussion, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
I'd like to attach the emergency clause to ordinance 26 of 2021 with the same emergency as was on 25.
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from Michael to adopt their emergency clause for ordinance number 26 of 2021 for the same reason as ordinance number 25 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor say aye. Roll call vote, please, Tammy. I'm sorry.
Long.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item is ordinance number 27 of 2021.
Ordinance number 27 of 2021, an ordinance to amend Article 4 annotated 4.10 and Article 5 annotated 5.4 of the Unified Development Code to declare an emergency and for other purposes. Second reading.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to waive the third reading, ordinance number 27 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion by James, a second by Michael to waive the third reading of ordinance number 27 of 2021. Any discussion by council? Seeing none, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
I'd make a motion to adopt ordinance 27 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion from James, a second by Ron, to adopt ordinance number 27 of 2021. Any council discussion? Any audience discussion? Computer? Roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones.
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Cope.
yes,
Reed.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Mayor, I'd like to attach the emergency clause so that we can get it included. ordinance 27 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion from James, a second by Michael, to attach the emergency clause to ordinance number 27 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next ordinance is number 28 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Ordinance number 28 of 2021, an ordinance to establish a new permit fee schedule for land use activities within the city of Cabot, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Second reading.
I make a motion to waive the second, third readings.
Third reading.
Third.
Okay. Got a motion by Brandon to waive the third reading.
Second.
Got a second from James. Any discussion by council? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 28 of 2021.
Second.
Michael Beecham. There was a motion by James, a second by Michael, to adopt ordinance number 28 of 2021. Council, any discussion? Seeing none, the audience, any discussion? Nothing on the computer. Okay. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Any emergency clause on this one?
Mayor, I'd like to ask to attach the emergency clause to ordinance 28 of 2021.
I second.
I got a motion by James, a second from Brandon, to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 28 of 2021. Any discussions, council? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please. Tammy.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Council, do you have any other old business? I have none on the agenda, but asking to make sure nothing has been forgotten. Seeing none, we'll move into City Council new business. First item is ordinance number 31 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Number 31 of 2021, an ordinance to certify a tax lien to be filed with the Lonoke County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 510 South Jackson Street in the city of Cabot, Arkansas, and for other purposes. First reading.
I make a motion that we suspend the second, third reading of ordinance number 31, 2021.
Second.
I got a motion by Ed, a second by Michael, to suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 31 of 2021. Council, any discussion?
I just had a quick question, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I'm sure it's a very simple answer, but I have a very simple mind, so hopefully I can comprehend it. Can it be explained to me about this 10% penalty that's added on to that?
Ben?
Yes, sir, that is actually statutory. That 10% is added on because there are actually costs for the city in and above for the lien to file a lien and to release a lien and a couple other steps along the way. So that is statutory to cover those costs. Yes, sir.
If it is statutory, I do not have a problem with it.
Laura, do you have anything to add? Audience? Anything? Nothing for the computer land? Roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 31 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion from James, a second by Stephen, to adopt ordinance 31 of 2021. Any discussion, council? Any by the audience? Seeing none, computer land? Nothing? Roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Okay, emergency clause is not needed per staff. Next item is ordinance number 32 of 2021.
Number 32 of 2021, an ordinance to certify a tax lien to be filed with the Lonoke County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 38 Oak Meadows Drive in the city of Cabot, Arkansas, and for other purposes. First reading.
I make a motion that we suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 32 of 21.
Second.
Got a motion from Brandon, a second by Stephen, to suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 32 of 2021. Any discussions, council? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Any adoption of the ordinance?
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 32 of 2021. Second.
I got a motion by Stephen, a second by Ron Waymack, to adopt ordinance 32 of 2021. Any discussion by council? Any discussion by the audience? Nothing on computer. Okay. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. No emergency clause needed by staff. Next item is ordinance number 33 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Ordinance number 33 of 2021, an ordinance to set millage tax rates to be collected in 2022 for the city of Cabot and for other purposes. First reading.
This is usually a housekeeping item here. We have to turn this stuff into the county by the end of October?
Yes.
Or is that incorrect?
November 1st.
By November 1st. So,
I make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
I got a motion by Ed, a second by Michael, to suspend the second and third readings of ordinance number 33 of 2021. Any discussions by council?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, this is just reallocating the current millage. that we
Yes,
have,
it's something
correct?
you have to do every year. Yes, sir. Same millage from last year. Nothing raised. Any other discussions? Seeing this on the second and third, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Make a motion to adopt 33 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion by Ed, a second by Ron to adopt ordinance number 33 of 2021. Any discussions by council? Any by the audience? Nothing on computer. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe.
Yes.
Passes 8-0, and the emergency clause is not needed. Correct? Correct. Okay, next item, we're moving into a public hearing. It's 6:52, Tammy, please note in the records that at 6:52, we moved into the public hearing for ordinance number 34 of 2021. If you would read that for us, please, ma'am.
Ordinance number 34 of 2021, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of franchise fee revenue bonds, taxable series 2021, authorizing a first supplemental trust indenture securing the bonds, authorizing the sale of the bonds and the execution of a bond purchase agreement, prescribing other matters pertaining thereto, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Okay, these are the franchise tax bonds that are needed to purchase the Price Cutter Building, and the rest of it to fix the front of City Hall for the stairs falling apart for the structural issues that I sent y'all last month or earlier this month. I can't remember when I sent it to you. And then to maybe redo the bottom stairs or bottom of the police department or the whole police department if we have enough left over, depending on the costs, et cetera, associated. We have Taylor here from Friday Edgar Clark, and he's here to answer any questions. If you'd like to come to the mic to see if any of them might have any questions for you. I know this is the first reading. According to the sale, do we need to waive the second and third?
And by the way, my name's Taylor Marshall with Friday Eldridge and Clark. We're serving as bond counsel on this issue. Just to be clear, are we still in a public hearing?
We are still in the public hearing.
Okay. So before you is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of franchise fee revenue bonds. You did an issue in 2018 that's secured by your franchise fees. These will be on a parity of security with those 2018 bonds issued under the indenture that was done in 2018. So we're issuing these as additional bonds. Same provisions in place. The ordinance that we have before you tonight is what we call a parameters ordinance. So if you notice on page 2, under section 2, there are certain parameters within which we're authorized to go and sell these bonds. Leanne Burnett's here with Stevens. She can talk about the particular parameters, but the plan is to go and finalize an offering document within the next week, sell the bonds probably a week after that, and assuming the sale meets these parameters, we'll then the mayor will sign a bond purchase agreement whereby you'll agree to sell the bonds to Stevens. Stevens will sign that bond purchase agreement. It's agreeing to buy the bonds from Stevens. We'll then or from the city. After that, we'll have about 30 days that we have to wait, referendum period. So we're looking at a closing at the end of October. This ordinance also authorizes a first supplemental trust indenture, the bond purchase agreement that I talked about, a continuing disclosure agreement that's required by federal securities law, as well as the offering document that I talked about, the preliminary official statement and a final official statement. So if anybody's here from the public, I'm happy to answer any questions about this process. Mayor can answer any questions about the project itself. And certainly if y'all have any questions, I can answer those too.
I do have a question, sir. On our 2018 franchise, this was for our Central Fire Station. We make payments on this twice a year. So we've made 4 payments on a $2 million already. These are going to run in perpetuity? They'll run? So
the 2018 bonds are going to remain outstanding. And so we're not refinancing those or we're not doing anything with that. But the way that the trust indenture was set up in 2018, we actually have to issue these bonds under that same trust indenture. And so that's why we have a first supplemental trust indenture. And so these bonds will be issued under that indenture. So all the core terms of those bonds, all the covenants and everything like that will stay the same. These bonds will have the same payment dates. I believe I think it's February and August. I think these bonds will mature in August, but we hadn't quite gotten there yet. You'll see in the parameters under Section 2, they can't go out further than August 1, 2041. And so that's the last, so that's as far out as you're authorizing us to go out. You'll see the principal amount of the bonds cannot exceed 3.45 million. True interest cost has to be 3.75% or less. And then an optional call date of no longer than February 1, 2029. And that's kind of like your prepayment date. Right now, we're looking at a call date in 2027. So that's how long the bonds would be out before you had the option to prepay them. And then the underwriter's discount speaks to how Stevens gets paid.
So we would be paying two sets of bonds under the same franchise.
That's correct.
Okay, that's acting as collateral.
The franchise fees, so the bonds will be paid from your franchise fees. And so that's the only collateral for this issue. Yes, sir. It's a pledge of your franchise fees.
Very good.
So that rate you said can't go above 3.75?
That's correct.
So how do we know what that rate's going to come in at?
So, Leanne, do you want to speak to the process? So we're going to go out and market the bonds, and Leanne can speak more to that, and they're going to have to figure out what that market rate is.
Sure, thank you. Leanne Burnett with Stevens. We will, according to our calendar, we will issue hopefully the offering document later this week with your authorization, and we would offer the bonds on September 29th. But basically what we've been doing is getting an update from our desk on rate indications to make sure that we come in within your parameters. And currently, we are well within that interest rate parameter. And we will report, we're happy to report back to you or provide a one-page summary as information to the council.
So you're just saying that it's going to come under that percentage rate. We don't have a number to get close to, right?
Right. We won't know the exact number until the day we price the bonds.
Do you have any idea, like an estimate, like?
Sure. So the last time we ran numbers, the true interest cost was a 293.
Okay,
And
thank you.
that's going out to August 1st of 2041.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Ben, I'm going to ask the audience, if they have any further questions. Do I close the discussion and then the council gets to read? If
Yes.
there's more action to do on this ordinance, then I do it as we close?
Yes,
Or while we're open?
If you would go ahead and pose to the audience if anybody would like to speak for or against, and then after we have taken any comments from the audience, at that point you may close the public hearing and proceed with any motion the council may like to make. Yes, sir.
And let me get this straight. You need us to waive the second and third? Okay. Any questions by audience?
Mayor, I do have one more question,
Okay.
and it's probably more so to you. Is on May 3rd, we passed a resolution or ordinance on the offer on the Price Cutter building and the Sears building.
Yes.
$2.1 million.
Yes.
What we got on August 31st from your office was facade and the stair replacement with bids at the Baldwin Company at $797,894.
Yes.
That still falls short of 3.45 million.
Well, the 3.1 to the 3.45 are fees and issuance costs and all that stuff. Between 2.7 and 3.1 would be any overages and what we think we can remodel the police underneath the city hall for.
I'm all for that. I went to the police station today and took a look at that.
Yes, it's pretty bad.
Yes.
And it also includes, Mayor, funding of a debt service reserve.
Yes, ma'am.
$112,000.
Thank you. The numbers are coming in line now.
Yeah, and we have Brian Burrows here tonight, and he's my special projects director, and we're trying to get that amount down and do more with less. So he's working real hard on that. So hopefully there'll be some good savings and numbers. And if we don't need all the money, we don't have to take all the money. Is it not correct?
So the bond issue has a special redemption
Okay.
provision that to the extent you do not use all the bond proceeds, you can take the unspent proceeds at the next interest payment date of the bonds, which you pointed out is twice a year, and call bonds.
Okay.
Redeem, pay off bonds early.
Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
What is the long-term plan for City Hall? Because to me, 800,000 is a drop in the bucket for what City Hall needs.
I agree. Right now, it's falling apart. Okay, we got the new roofs and the whole upstairs are getting redone. Insurance paid for a lot of that. Downstairs is pretty gross. The officers need better. We asked during our town hall if we could do a new City Hall or Justice Center, and it wasn't very well supported. Just a smaller one's going to cost at least $10 million. North Rock's building a pretty big one. I think theirs is 25, 30 billion. You know, we're looking at least 10 more years being where we're at. And I wouldn't want my family working down there.
Well, there's nothing in here for mechanicals, and I know firsthand that the mechanicals are pretty rough at City Hall. It just seems like we're just trying to throw lipstick on a pig.
No, we've replaced most of the mechanicals, isn't that right? Pretty close to the air conditioning and all that stuff? And this includes, if y'all do this, we're getting the elevator fixed. Quigley refurb is not correct, Michael?
That's correct.
Modernized elevator. So I think, do we think on the mechanicals and everything, it may be close. We're trying to do more with less. I mean, we would love to have $20 million right now and build a new city hall and police complex, but we don't have it. We're just I'm trying to make this last longer and give the police what they deserve, at least something. I know we were going to have a new fire and police training facility, which will be a substation. Highway 5, we're about to get that going for a substation out there in the Greystone Center complex. So we're going to split them up a little bit, so we should be okay for the next, hopefully, 5 or 10 years. But I agree with you. At first, it seemed like lipstick on a pig, but when you get the roof fixed and everything, and the whole upstairs, which we already put, what, Mike, $1 million?
Well, the roof and painting all the mechanical upstairs are probably close to 140,000.
Only 140? It seems like $1 million to me.
$1 million total.
$1 million roofs total, all of our roofs, okay. All of our roofs were $1 million. So, and they think they've fixed all the water damage. And then the drainage issue for the downstairs for the police department, we're taking out the fountain and we're trying to make sure we fix all that as well. So we would do that before we'd spend the money downstairs. I would hope we could do it for all this. But I may be coming back saying I need 100 or so thousand to finish up something. I mean, I'm being honest. But I think it'd be well worth it. Any questions from the audience? Any from? Okay. Saying that then, we will close public discussion at 7:06. Let the record show. Do I have anyone that would support waiving the second and third reading?
Mayor, I'll make that motion to waive second and third reading.
Second.
Got a motion by James, a second by Ed, to waive the second and third reading of ordinance number 34 of 2021. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
No.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Passes 7-1. Can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 34, 2021.
I'll second.
Got a motion from Ed, a second from James to adopt the ordinance number 34 of 2021. Any council discussion? Any audience discussion? Computer. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack, Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
No.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Mayor, in order to meet the timeline.
Passes 7-1.
In
Yes,
order
sir.
to meet the timeline that has been laid out here to us. Now you need the emergency clause now, right? They did.
Yes,
if
sir.
I understood it right, she wanted to do some stuff this week. Without it, she's not able to do. Am I correct? Okay. Then I make a motion for that reason to attach emergency clause.
And I will second.
I got a motion by Ed, a second by James to adopt the emergency clause. Any council discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yeah.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Anything else y'all need, Taylor, Leanne? Thank you, Taylor and Leanne, for being here. Next item's ordinance number 35 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Number 35 of 2021, an ordinance establishing new disbursement conditions for the Community and Economic Development Fund, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. First reading.
Make a motion, we waive the second and third reading of ordinance number 35, 2021.
I have a motion and a second by Ed to waive the second and third, a motion by Ed to waive the second and third reading of ordinance number 35 of 2021. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I got a second from Michael. Any discussion, council?
This was the $100,000 contract, correct?
Yes, sir. This is the 100,000 contract, and we are ending that contract officially on the books and replacing it with Community Economic Development Fund to be used as incentives to get businesses here to Cabot.
Matt, it's the franchise, not the franchise, the
City business license.
yeah, business license fees that we fenced, and it was going to the contractor for economic development. Since we no longer have that contractor, and we've, as everybody knows, we've had a need for some type of funding source for incentives. This is just redirecting that into that, since the money was already there, since the funding source is already available. That's what this is about.
I know you can't be specific, but can you give me some examples of what kind of incentives we might be able to offer out of this?
In the past, we've been asked to do everything from put a driveway in to set a water meter. You know, that's, sometimes they want a huge amount of money, and sometimes they don't want very much. You never know what they're going to ask for. Just simply because they ask for it doesn't mean they get it. You know, anything over $35,000 is going to have to come to the council to be approved anyway. So that is that's a stopgap there on that. Generally, they want some type of infrastructure is what has been asked for in the past. I mean, everything, honestly, everything from land clearing, can you get a bulldozer out here for me and get rid of those trees type thing. You never know what they're going to ask for. It doesn't make any sense.
Now, would this be a budgeted item going forward?
This money is fenced. This money is not reflected on the budget other than coming in. It's not spent through the general fund. This money is there. It comes in through business license. It goes into that and it is held there until it is spent. This gives a $35,000 cap to be spent without council action. So yes, it will be monitored like that, and it will be coming in every year as long as we continue to collect business license. The thought behind that was it was businesses paying it anyway, so let's go ahead and use it to enhance businesses is what it boils down to. Not put it over in a general fund to be spent in a general fund, but use it back to grow that segment of our community.
Yes, sir, makes total sense. Thank you.
Any other discussion? This is the second and third, right?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing none, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Go ahead.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 35 of 2021.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
I got a motion by James, a second by Stephen, to adopt ordinance number 35 of 2021. Any discussion by council?
Mayor, may I make one more statement on that I
Sure.
meant to make the other two
Sure.
times, and as y'all know, my mind is not what it really needs to be. Mentioned on two occasions, $35,000. Where that comes from, what the rationale behind that is, and I've been agreed with it, Mayor agreed to it, was that is what our bidding limits are now. That is state statute on what our bidding limits are. We felt like that if we stayed in that, we would be safe with auditors and everything like that. And I think Ben visited with the auditors. I believe everything is probably cool on that end because he hasn't said anything any different. So that's where the $35,000 comes from. It's not just some number that was picked out of the air. There is statutory state statute that mentions that number, but it's in the bidding process. It is. But we felt like that this would mirror that. So that's where we come up with that.
Any other discussion?
Travis, how about that heat?
I don't think it's working. I think Maggie broke it. She turned it up like I would have. As high as it'll go. Seeing none, audience, any discussion? Computer land? Okay, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
I would like to attach the emergency clause to this. We need to implement this as soon as we can because we do have some, the mayor has laid on his desk some potential, I'm trying to be careful, Mayor, some potential folks coming into town that may want to enter into discussion on some of this. Now, I think, and we have discussed it back and forth a little bit, we very well may need to have a executive session based on the economic development stuff that we've got. But right now, we don't have enough information to do that. But we do need to have this thing implemented where he can at least talk to them in good faith.
I got a motion by Ed to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 35 of 2021. Is there a second?
So, I'll second.
Second from James. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Next item is resolution number 51 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Resolution number 51 of 2021, a resolution to authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement to purchase the real property referenced herein, to amend the general fund of the 2021 annual operating budget and for other purposes.
Okay, I'm going to have Alicia come up and explain some things on this one. We got an opportunity to purchase the mini mall, and I'm going to let her speak to where we're at on this.
Hi, good evening. Alicia Wilmoth, Director of Economic Development. So as you know, there's been a movement of revitalization towards the downtown. This council actually enacted the Arts and Entertainment District to kind of start that momentum going. You know, this past weekend we had the film festival, which was such a great opportunity for this community. And I see that as also being kind of a catalyst of what we can potentially see moving forward. You know, since most communities have historic downtown areas with buildings that were built in the 1800s, and unfortunately we lost a lot of those. So what we do have is something a little bit different, and unfortunately that particular building is in a state of disrepair and dilapidation. So we have a unique opportunity to kind of take advantage of that and really work diligently towards the revitalization. Again, with the Arts and Entertainment District and that art walk that is right outside of that back door, the murals that go right along with it, this will be a chance for us to take that piece of property and really invigorate that and really bring it as an economic driver. Because community development and economic development do walk hand in hand. I've been approached by numerous businesses who are eager. We've kind of talked about the idea, and I've been vetting numerous places all around the city of Cabot. But they want that walkability. They want those positions that are in our downtown area, in the core of Cabot, that they can network, that they can also re-engage that entrepreneurship. And for those that have been at CDI, they understand the need for that. Moving out of COVID, we also realize that there is less of a need for those buildings that have that storefront, right? They actually need just office spaces that are probably going to be away from their children and away from their families, and give them a safe place that they can actually go. With that, it also can also spawn on those coffee shops. And then Mr. Weber, I know we've talked about, you know, potential restaurants or microbrews and things like that. So what does our downtown look like in our vision and in our future? And with this purchase, we actually have an opportunity to really make an impact and do that for us as a community.
And to bring our overlay district that
I
we'll
was
be
going to say,
doing.
the other thing that I've been working on, kind of one of the first charges with Ed, is creating an overlay district for that entire arts district and what that looks like. So as we do start to grow, we're going to grow strategically, and we are going to grow with the character and the aesthetics of the community of which the council advises us forward, and working with the Planning Commission. So it's going to be an overall comprehensive plan, and this is just one of those components that I think would just be just kind of the caveat to all of that, and to help really invigorate all of this moving forward, so that we can build the downtown that I think we all want moving forward.
Do we have a ballpark on the disarray of the cost to get this back in shape?
I'm going to have to ask Mike on that one. So I do know that there was a roof repair that was done. So they just recently put a roof on that building. The American Legion just recently vacated, and we moved them out of that space. Again, they've been great stewards of that space and had taken great pride in it. So there's a lot of goods, but we have not had a chance to walk through it in its entirety at this point. But again, those spaces have been utilized over time. More so the exterior, I think, is where some of the misconceptions of that disrepair and the identity of the downtown. And
We're going to kind of treat it like build to suit. So we would ask the people coming in to harbor those costs, and we'll give them some sort of break on the rent or whatever, so we're not out any further cash on the building. But Mike has looked at it kind of and has a rough estimate, but, you can spend a little or you can spend a lot, depending on how you're going to do it. But we would like to build the suite to suit.
And this is actually both sides, right? Both left and
Yes.
right, all the way down?
Yep.
And so what that can also do is we can also potentially take off like one of those back doors and really open it up to that art walk, so that people can flow through there and they can take advantage of what's there. If you've visited the Innovation Hub, which is in North Little Rock, or visited any of the innovation spaces or co-working spaces in Northwest Arkansas, that is a huge trend for entrepreneurship. Again, getting those brick and mortar and those storefronts cost a lot of money, and some businesses and some people do not have the opportunity, and they're also working at home or staying within their community and not having to commute either to downtown. So this could also potentially provide that opportunity for us right in our community.
And we'd like to bring the greenway through there as well when we knock out that back wall that we're working with the Metro Plan on right now.
Is there a way to bring our police over there and get them out of the hole they're in, or are they just kind of stuck where they're at?
Well, it's an option. I mean, I'd get with Chief and Captain Steely and see what they would like to do, but I think if we remodeled their space to where it should be, I think they would love that. But I don't know. I'm speaking for him right now, but I'll let them decide if they would like that space, and I'm all for it too. I know the council will support it. Obviously, we're all for our police.
Mr. Mayor, could I direct a couple of questions?
Yes.
Is the current owner of that strip mall the Lonoke County?
Yes. So the quorum court has to approve this as well after we do it.
That is correct.
Are we talking about the complete length of that strip mall?
Absolutely. It's the corridor that goes through with the brick corridor, and then the two basically bays of office spaces.
It's about 9,000 square
To the
feet.
right of that, and it is that entire space. The
Okay.
coroner was currently in one of those spaces. He has relocated the coroner, again, the American Legion. There's a couple other different entities that have been.
Boy Scouts,
Boy
State Police.
Scouts and the police, they've all been relocated to more permanent situations as well.
Okay, we're investing in private property with taxpayer dollars. I have a concern with that. Help me understand how investing tax dollars in real property for future.
We're doing that with the bond issue. We did it when we bought Centennial Bank.
We're putting city functions in those, but we're not putting city functions in this one. We're buying property so that we can put private businesses in it.
I only gave that as an opportunity, as an investment. Again, this will also come down to a decision of the cabinet and of the city council. The more important part is the revitalization of our downtown with what you guys have already enacted with the arts council, with the arts district, and those types of things. Again, the police and fire is the police department is a great opportunity. There's infinite opportunities that we could possess with that. But again, entrepreneurship is also something that is something that is much needed within our community as well. Those are just options.
Yeah, and we're also doing with the internet office in the Price Cutter building. So that'll be a rented
Price Cutter,
space.
yeah, so we have a private entity that's going in the Price Cutter building as well.
Well, we invested in a building at 2102 2nd Street for animal control. We also invested in the Price Cutter building, with the majority of it going to animal control. We seem to be buying property.
Yes, we are buying property and buying it at a pretty good pace at $25 a square foot. It's just the ability to have that arts and entertainment district and that economic development and be able to provide a space. All these cities you talk about, people are wanting this and wanting this and wanting this and wanting this. Well, if we don't have the space and we don't have the land, you can't bring it in. We're trying to create that. I mean, like they say at CDI, that we go to. You got to have places ready to go. And Alicia's saying, I could have this place ready to go to rent and get the right people in here, whether it be a innovation hub, a microbrewery, whatever other examples she listed, but there was
Co-working spaces.
co-working spaces, there was various. I mean, we just think it was a real good opportunity from Lonoc County. And like I said, we think it's a very good offer from the county for us to have this property.
My fear is if we don't buy it, if the city does not step up and buy it, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what the end is down the road, are we going to lease retail spaces in it? I don't think there's any prohibition against that. I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as we do it all fair market value and everything like that, I don't think we're harming anything. But my biggest fear on that is if we don't, then the doors are going to be shut on it, and then in 2 years it's going to be caved in, and then there goes, what, a third of our downtown? You know, and I don't want that. I don't want to see that.
My knee-jerk reaction to this when I first read it was not only no, I had similar reaction. I didn't think that the city needed to be in the business of being a landlord and renting space. But I did visit with Alicia this afternoon, and referring back to CDI training, I think this would be a catalyst for the downtown area. I would hate to see it get into a state of disrepair that would cost a gazillion dollars to bring it back up. If we purchase this and then eventually whatever businesses may go in there, if they decide to purchase, we would recoup some of the money there. Based off of the $200,000 amount, whatever fees are asked of the occupants, we could recoup that within a couple of years.
Probably 3.
I would be interested in where we would then send those funds, whether it be into the Economic Development Fund.
It's whatever council would designate that as.
So therefore, my knee-jerk has changed to the opposite direction for this. So I know I visited with a couple of other council members on it, and I told them what I thought initially. But yes, I am changing my support for it. So.
Oh, and also I got to thinking, James, we rent to the chamber, we rent to a lawyer firm, and we rent to Rick Crawford, Congressman Crawford as well.
Also, the post office is also going to be,
The post office we rent to the school, which is now moving out. So
The old post office.
I'm
the
sorry.
old post
I'm
office.
sorry.
Do we have a written appraisal on this property that we're paying $200,000? Is it worth 50 or?
They bought it in 1989 for $138. Next door, the Cabot Dance Academy bought theirs. It was 6,000 square feet, which ours is 8 to 9, and they paid $190 for theirs. And it was in worse shape than this one.
It's
So
pretty
it's-
well in line with what appraisal
It's in
value.
well in line, yes, sir. Sale.
And Mr. Councilman Hildeberg, you spoke about, City Hall and what it looks like for the future. We don't know what the future holds 10 years from now, but if we miss this opportunity on this piece of property, it could have been something that later on that we're going to end up having to purchase anyway, especially if you have bigger dreams for our City Hall and for renovations for the future within the next, 10 years. We always have those missed opportunities if we would have purchased something. And then during those 10 years, we actually will be able to make revenue and actually reinvest back into the downtown and into that area, which could actually get us to that City Hall that you dreamed of a lot sooner, potentially.
And I think we're buying low or buying at a good price. And if we can get downtown the way we want it to look, that building will be worth 2 or 3 times. And if we want to sell it, then we could sell it at that time. And use that for further economic development.
Mr. Mayor? if
Yes,
you
sir.
would Indulge me.
Yes, sir.
Personally, I don't think the city has any business being in the real estate business at property management. And I think that if our economic development is hinging on buying these old buildings and to put people in it, I think that's the wrong direction. We should incentivize to bring people to Cabot to fill these old buildings. Less regulation. You want to incentivize businesses to come. I hear it time after again. Nobody wants to put a business in Cabot because of the regulations. So I disagree with it.
Thanks, sir. Sure, go ahead.
And clarification. I know that we have commercial building standards, and those buildings have been empty for a considerable amount of time. Will they be required to be brought up to the current building, commercial building standards from Public Works?
As long as the use didn't change. And they just now are getting emptied, so we've got 6 months to a year, what is it? 6 months. Yep, we have
So
6
the
months.
answer is no, they won't be required to come up to.
As long as we rent them within 6 months. That's the current UDC. Correct? Correct? Yep. So basically, they're all were office buildings, basically, office suites.
So are we buying this with the intent to rent this out, or are we buying this with the intent to have maybe our police, or, I mean, what's kind of our bottom line intent?
I was buying it with intent to bring jobs and have them do the remodel. That's what my intent was. Then someone mentioned police, and I said, well, if police wanted it, then we could put jobs at the bottom of City Hall, whichever. That's my intent.
I mean, I'm definitely all about making money, obviously, but, I mean, I want to make sure our folks are taken care of as well, right?
Yeah, we have, if we're going to get out of the real estate business, we got a whole lot to sell. We've got 2 or 3 pages worth of real estate that people before me have purchased. Land, buildings. How many items do we have, Laura? Do you remember? It's a long list. Yeah. Yep. Any other discussions? Any by the audience? Any by computer land? Seeing none, all in favor of Resolution 51 of 2021, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Red,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
No.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
No.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
No.
Long,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Passes 5-3. Now we go into community input. If you have something to say, please come to the podium, address your actions, state your name, and tell me if you live in Cabot. Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? I got a motion from Ron Waymack to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Brandon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned 7:35. Thanks everybody for coming.